to Off Limits. Liberal, irreverent, oh, and really, really gay.
Well, hi, y'all. Welcome to the Off Limits show. Thanks for listening tonight. I'm coming to you from Dallas, Texas. And thanks for listening. I don't know what I'm doing, just talking in an accent tonight for no reason whatsoever. I do that sometimes. Anyway, welcome to the Gay Mass show. Thanks for joining me tonight here on Monday, the 17th, I think, of November, 2014. If this is your first time listening to Gay Mass, you can always find out more about me by going to Spreaker.com. You can also go to, excuse me, you can also go to iHeartRadio on there as well. And iTunes, if you want to subscribe to the show, you can listen to the show through subscriptions to your iPod or iPhone, etc., by going to iTunes. And of course, you can always listen on the website, offlimitshow.com. So thanks for listening. Hold on a second. I need to do something real quick. Okay. So thanks for listening to the show. I'm a little tired. I probably sound like it, even though I shouldn't be. I slept a really long time today. I slept until like 4:00 p.m. because I was, I've been exhausted lately because I've been working so much and I just had to sleep. You know, some days you just have to catch up on your sleep and that's what I did. And, it felt really good. And also it's been really easy to do that lately with the weather being the way it's been because of, it was like sleeting all day today, just very light sleet all day today and extremely cold. It's like 29 degrees right now here in Dallas. It's been very cold all week. It's supposed to warm up to like 60 later in the week, like Thursday or Friday, but that's good. But it's been, I've been very, very, confused my body clock because of the time change, and usually I'm very happy with this time change because I'm a night owl anyway. I have the show all the time, late, as I'm doing now or early, depending on your perspective, I guess. But I really love the nighttime and I can think clearly and I'm not disturbed by other people or whatever. And so that's why I like it. And I've always just been a night owl by, I don't know, birth or whatever. And so staying up late is not a problem and the dark isn't a problem. But for me, I'm used to having more daylight just like most of us. And so it's like, oh my God, it's only 5:00 and it feels like 9. And so it's just really weird. It's kind of fucking things up. How about you? Anyway, so what are we talking about today on the show? Tonight we're talking about several things in Gay Mass. It'll be a short show, but just wanted to kind of chime in on a few little cultural issues and topics, one of which is the Kardashian butt picture in Paper magazine. Even though she's not gay, it's relative to gay culture, I think, because people like gay guys love her or whatever. Now, first of all, I don't watch the Kardashians. I've never watched their show, not once. I've never been interested in their show. I've seen her in a couple shows I've watched. Like I used to watch the show Drop Dead Diva. She was in that show for, a season once. And, I've seen her on interviews or whatever I've caught or whatever. And honestly, she seems like a nice enough person. She doesn't seem like she's an evil person or anything, but she's just annoying. The whole Kardashian clan is because they are the epitome of, being famous for nothing. Or for just because they have famous parents, like Paris Hilton or Nicole Richie, et cetera. So that's what irks me. But the thing is, she rose to fame by having that sex tape that she did with RJ or whoever it was, some rapper dude or something. I can't remember, because they all like black guys. And I can't remember who it was, but anyway, so she came to fame because of that, like 10 years ago, whenever it was. And she wanted to be taken seriously as an actress and she wanted to be taken seriously as a, whatever she is. And she's basically become a pop culture phenomena. And that's fine. And she's now worth over $45 million and she's married Kanye West and has a baby with him and blah, blah, blah. So she's set, but, that's just it. She's kind of left that persona behind, that she had this sex tape chick, that she got famous from years ago. And she's really become a little more mainstream and she's an actress to some degree. And, she tried a song, although she shouldn't have. And she's done several things, in the entertainment industry. She's becoming more and more legitimate as an entertainer. if you want to call her that. I don't really know what she does, or as a persona, I'll call her a persona. But now she's reverting back to this whole sexual thing. And the picture they did on Paper Magazine, they did several of her, the most famous one being of her huge, enormous butt, which, she's famous for anyway. I think those are implants. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they are, because you see before pictures of her, and you see pictures of her now, and her ass was not that big before. So I'm pretty sure they are implants. But whatever the case may be, she has an enormous ass. And she herself has even said she has a hard time sitting down sometimes because her ass gets in the way between her and the chair she's in. So, I mean, if whatever floats her boat, to me, I mean, I am an ass guy on guys, on men, I love nice round bubble butts or whatever. That's hot to me. I like that. It turns me on. So I guess this is the equivalent for a heterosexual guy. I don't know. I'm not heterosexual, so you have to ask a straight guy. But I don't know. But her ass is so fucking big, and the crack on her ass is enormous. It's like goes from the top of her hip all the way down. It's like so long. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Her ass is redunculous. Okay. So, but anyway, she did this posing in this magazine, and she did a full nude pose as well, fully nude pose. And the problem I had with it is that they weren't tasteful at all. They were just like, oh, here I am, I'm naked, like maybe you'd see in like a Penthouse or something, not instead of Playboy. It wasn't tasteful at all. It was just like, here I am. And what was the fucking point? Just to get publicity, which she did get, and over 40, I think it's 14 million people or 16 million people have seen the picture on Paper's website so far. So it is great. But, when it comes to celebrity, people these days will do anything for it. And they will pose nude. They will do sex tapes. They will sell their soul just to be famous. And is being famous the most important thing? I don't think so. I think that the most important thing is the integrity you have as a person in doing what it is that you do with whatever craft or skill you have or business acumen or whatever you have or you can do and contribute to the world. That is the important thing, is that you do it well, not whether or not you're famous and well known for it. And there are a lot of people who are very famous who are not the best at what they do. They actually are not always the best. Just because you're famous doesn't mean you're the best. So just because Dr. Phil is one of the most famous therapists doesn't make him the best therapist. Just because Susie Orman's probably the most famous financial advisor doesn't make her the best financial advisor. Just because, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and I don't know, whomever else we want to talk to are the best, are some of the most famous actors and actresses, doesn't mean they're the best actor and actress. Some of the best people in a particular chosen field are sometimes and oftentimes unknowns. And so that's oftentimes why you have to go underground to find people that are the best. Now, that's not always the truth. Obviously, sometimes if someone is really, really great and it really isn't a true genius or an artist in some capacity or whatever it is that they do, they will rise to the top and people will begin to know who they are naturally, But a lot of people these days are forcing fame upon themselves and forcing it as a way and a means to make a career for themselves, as opposed to actually doing anything to get there, which to me is, I don't know, it's very annoying. I think most people are really primarily concerned with, when they are doing something, whatever it may be, that if they're doing it for the right reasons, fame is not the end result or the end game. The end game is to be the best in their field. For example, people who win Pulitzer Prizes a lot of the time are not often famous until they win the Pulitzer Prize. People who are, win the Nobel Peace Prize or whatever the case may be, these people who win these things come out of obscurity and then fame is thrust upon them. But they were already really great people, really wonderful people, and then they ultimately become really well known as a result of it. And in those cases, I think that's great. But people like the Kardashians and people like, Paris Hilton and people like, I could name a whole bunch of people, Nicole Richie and so on, who are only famous for being famous and not famous for actually have fucking done anything, is just an embarrassment. Now I will say that they are shrewd business people. They know how to work the public. They know how to do what they need to do to make money on appearances and to do those things. And that's admirable as a craft. But they should be in fucking marketing then. They're marketing themselves, and that's great, and they're good at it. Of course, they have teams now and everything else, but they've crafted a way of making themselves well known and famous, and that's wonderful. In of itself, it is admirable. But I think what is actually shameful is that they ultimately are not doing anything to actually get all these accolades. They're just being there. But anyway, speaking of 15 minutes of fame, the Target guy, the guy that everybody was going crazy about a few weeks ago, maybe just a couple weeks ago, he's from Dallas, Texas. And he actually is... I can't remember his name. It's like, I can't remember the guy's name. It's, I can't remember his name. But anyway, he's from Dallas. I think his name is Alex or something like that. And he actually came out this week as saying that he's gay. And of course, it broke a lot of girls' hearts. He's 16 years old. He's a very good-looking 16-year-old. And all these girls' hearts are broken. And one of them even said, well, now I'm not that into him because I can't imagine having, being with him now. Well, first of all, what cracks me up about this is, everybody has, I guess, fantasies about what they want to, who they want to be with or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to like famous people, actors, actresses, singers, musicians, artists, whatever, that are famous, but they don't, the funny thing is, and people will say, oh, he's gay, or oh, she's married, or he's married, or whatever, when they find out, and people sound so disappointed because they can no longer fantasize about the possibility that this person's going to want to be with them, or somehow they have a chance. And that's what always cracks me up. I'm like, when people say that, like you had a chance anyway. When are you ever going to run into, Tom Cruise or whomever you're into, Gwyneth Paltrow, whatever, whoever you're into? You're not going to run into these people. You don't run the same circles. They don't know you. You're not going to know them. So it's not going to happen anyway, whether they're married or not, whether they're gay or straight. I just think it's this most ridiculous and childish thing to actually think that you have some sort of a chance with these people unless you actually happen to run into them and know them. I've only had the opportunity to run into a couple of celebrities, and only one that I ever dated. I mentioned a long time ago on my show. And that was just because happenstance. We happened to be at the same place at the same time and actually meet through some friends, kind of. But that's the only reason, not because I would ever have thought, oh, well, someday I want to date him and want to be with him or whatever. I don't know. I find it to be stupid and childish for people to actually think that way. But I guess it's fun to think that way, and you're watching a movie. We all do that, and to fantasize about you being with that person or something. But it's stupid. But so the fact that people actually don't like this guy because, are no longer interested in him because he's not, the girls, I should say, because he's not straight and he's gay is ludicrous as well. He may have something to offer, Unfortunately, when I saw him in Ellen last week or 2 weeks ago, he seems a little vapid. So I don't think he really has much to offer actually in the end to anybody at all. I think she even asked him, can you dance? Can you sing? Do you have a talent of some sort? What is it you're interested in? And he really didn't have much of a statement. So I think maybe he could model, he could do that because he's good looking, and maybe he can act. We'll see if he can act or something. But I don't know how much he actually has to offer the world talent wise. I think he's pretty, vacuous, it seemed, but it doesn't change the fact he's really cute. The KKK has decided that they now want to, or a portion or a segment of the KKK has decided that they now want to allow gays, lesbians, transgender, blacks, Hispanics, everyone that they hate, atheists that they hate, historically hate, into the KKK. Now, this is such a fucking stupid, most ridiculous thing to say. Why would anyone of those minorities want to be part of the KKK? The KKK's history is abhorrent. And to think that these people would want anything to do with them or to join them as a group or a member is ridiculous. To me, it sounds like they're just it's like the Trojan horse. They're trying to get people to join so they can slaughter them or hang them or some shit. It's ridiculous. So no, thank you, KKK. We're not interested. Also, there is there's been a gay blood ban for a long time in this nation. I talked about it, I think, on the last show, but it's been for a long time, and now they're thinking about lifting it. That's great. Fortunately, it needs to happen because there's a lot of lives that can be saved as a result of gays and lesbians donating or